Hello everyone, this is Chrism, and I'd like to invite you to this conversation about your Kundalini awakening experiences. This is a kitchen Kundalini video series. Um, in this conversation, I'd like to talk with you about personal cleanliness. This is a very important topic within the Kundalini. And personal cleanliness is about maintaining the health of your body, the health of your mind, how you think, and the health of your Kundalini. How do you nourish the Kundalini, and what steps do you take in order to nourish a level of grace within you? Okay, this is a very important topic, and I want you to, if you're interested in this topic, to pay close attention. Don't hesitate to watch the video over and over and over. I don't have a script. I have nothing written down. This is coming straight from my Kundalini to you. And you need to understand that. So it may not, follow a linear course of didactic instruction, but you should be able to follow it to some degree. So personal cleanliness. First of all, let's deal with the body. And let's deal with what we always kind of associate cleanliness to be, is like taking a shower, taking a bath, bathing yourself, cleaning yourself with the use of water. This is great. This is great if you live in a water-rich country, like Oregon in the United States is a water-rich country. Washington State on the west side is a water-rich area. If you have a lot of water that falls, the aquifers of the land are always full because of the snow melt or whatever it may be. That's great. You can use that. You can take that shower. You can take that bath. You can take 2 or 3 baths every day if you want, which is great. Hydrating the skin is a good thing. Taking a really, really hot bath is a good thing. Taking a really, really cold bath or shower is also a good thing. And I know that some of you already are doing it. And so within this idea of washing yourself, great. But if that is not available to you, and you have the Kundalini in the activated state, if that is not available to you, your grace will wash you in her own way without using water sources that are outside of the water within your body. We are 78% water. Human body is 78% water. And so there is water resources within the human body. She will use her grace as a way to clean you. When I was homeless, I went for 1.5 years without taking a shower, without bathing at all. And partly because, I didn't have that option. I just didn't have the option. And she knew it. And she knew that I was in a DNS, a dark night soul. She knew what I was going through. She followed me every step of the way. Okay. And I didn't have a stench problem. I can see some of you going, "Oh my gosh, 1.5 years. Woohoo! Oh my God. It's like ammonia." But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. I smelled more like cedar. Cedar. And I had friends, check that out. I had homeless friends, it's like, do I smell? Do I have a bad stench? Because I thought I should at the time. I thought, it's like, well, geez, it's been 1.5 years. Damn. You know, you can only imagine. So, no, I did not have the smell problem. And when I woke up in the morning, there would be like this golden, waxy material on the skin that you could literally kind of just peel it right off. And that was the way that she would clean me, at least, during the night wherever I was sleeping at the time, and she kept me clean and smelling all right. I wasn't the kind of homeless person that really went out of their way to look like shit all the time. I didn't. I tried to keep the clothes clean, visit the laundromat whenever I had the money to do so, or just wash them somewhere in a faucet. I tried not to look unkempt, and I didn't really keep in social contact with anybody either. It was mostly just by myself. So she will take care of you in these ways, and you need to understand that. You need to trust that the Sacred Mother is watching over you. Sacred Father is watching over you. And they will wash you, and they will change your clothes, and they will find ways for you to find food, or to find what you need to survive the dark night soul. And that can last for a long time. Okay. You've got to trust that your grace is following your progress. And believe it or not, even by being in a dark night soul, you're making progress. So she will clean your skin. She'll, your hair won't smell, your skin won't smell, you won't have, any of these problems of that nature. You won't be eating a lot either. And in this way, your inside body is being cleaned. You won't have the money to spend at the fast food restaurant. You won't be eating a lot of junk food. You won't, if you have the Kundalini, then you'll be guided into areas where you can find clean food as best you can, and partake of that clean food. Now, I understand that everybody has a unique experience, and I can't state that my experience is going to be everybody else's experience. It won't be. You'll have your own experience. But what I am saying is that you can trust where your Kundalini leads you when you cannot lead yourself. And in the area of the cleansing of the body, the mind, and the nourishing of the Kundalini, one of the first aspects is to have complete and total trust in the Kundalini. And this takes out levels of fear. And when you take out levels of fear, you take out levels of time spent within a dark night soul or any kind of a challenging scenario that the Kundalini life might bring to you. So you will be given opportunities to consume food. Now, if that food isn't up to what we would consider, good standards, nutritional standards, it doesn't matter. She is helping you to metabolize that food. So if you just run across, you're able to get a free bag of Cheetos, will you eat those Cheetos? Because she will change the structure of that food inside your system. And the structure of that food will become nutritious, even if it didn't start out that way. Okay, you need to be very, very aware of the insertion of grace into into your life and into the foods that you eat. Okay, and so as you clean your exterior body and as you clean your interior body, you need to clean up the way you think. You need to clean up the judgment that you're having about your life at the time. It's not easy. Much of Kundalini is not an easy experience. Okay, and so you need to clean up how you're feeling about this experience. You may not need to go into joyful gratitude for sleeping outside under an overpass because it's raining. You may not have a joyful acceptance of that, but you can. It is within the realm of possibility for a person to accept all of the challenges that grace gives to you in a joyful manner. I didn't, because I didn't know I hadn't received those downloads from my grace yet. In many ways, I had to go through the hard school. She wanted me to go through the hard school so I could teach others from authenticity, having been there and done that, right? And just because I was in the hard school doesn't mean that she couldn't have given me the information to take the easier way. That was not planned for me. That was not part of the plan. But for you, it might be. For you, it might be. And so you begin to clean up the way you think. You know, if you don't have any money, it doesn't mean you're an automatic victim of society. You're not an automatic victim of anything. You're inside of a transformation. And that transformation is giving you the experience. The experience of having nothing. No possessions, except the clothes on your back. And that's about it. Okay, you might have a blanket, maybe. A flea-infested blanket. And the fleas won't bite you. I had that experience, you know. It's like fleas would not bite me. Ticks would not bite me. Spiders would not bite me. Because you radiate the source of Mother Nature. You radiate her grace all around you. And that takes you out of the realm of being being prey for anything. For anything. And this is part of what it is to clean yourself through your radiance, like you bathe yourself in your Kundalini radiance. If you're having a difficult time, and you know you have Kundalini, bathe yourself in your radiance. You just take your hands, feel her come through your chakras right here and here on the tips, and just bathe yourself. Bathe yourself in your radiance. Just let it come out. Or you can just sit down and meditate and let the radiance come through you. Okay? But there is also something to be said for using these chakras here and these chakras here on the tips as a way to bathe a certain area, or to take the pain. If you have a sore or some sort of a scratch, whatever it is, you can lay that hand chakra on it. And this is what we do naturally. I don't know if you've seen a little kid. It's like, ow! That's what we're doing. We're healing it. Okay. So you can bathe yourself in your radiance, but you've got to bathe your mind as well. How you think, how that inner dialogue is working for you. I got to a point where I was given a download on what to do in certain things, and I just started changing myself constantly and through self-correction. Instead of going into anger and violence and revenge, I went into forgiveness and compassion and understanding. The typical response to some things is anger, violence, and revenge. The Kundalini response to the very same phenomena is different. Okay? Forgiveness, compassion, and understanding. This is a way of cleaning you out. This is a way of cleaning you from within. Okay? This is how she teaches us that as we are within, so are we outside of ourselves. As we are inside, so are we outside. As above, so below. As within, so without. Okay? It's very important for people to constantly stay in a level of inner cleansing. You got to understand that, we live in this society. We live in this atrocious, challenging society where people are allowed to be addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs, addicted to cigarettes, addicted to money, addicted to sex, addicted to crime, addicted to hurting other people, for self-validation. I mean, we live in a very, very, very challenging world. In any of the landscapes and social landscapes of this world. I don't care if you're a shaman living in the Amazon or the African jungles. You've got severe challenges there. You're hunted as food every day by every other creature around you. In many ways, walk you walk in the Amazon and you can be tracked by up to 5 different species of jaguar. You're just you're just a tall pig. It's the new white meat. So, you've got to understand that. And the same thing has happened in the streets of New York or Chicago or Miami or Los Angeles or San Francisco or Seattle, St. Louis, Memphis, Nashville, Houston. I mean, I can list all the big cities here in this country too. And the question comes up. Nira's asking a question, and she says, "How do we stay away from another's emotions or energy?" Well, we can't. We don't stay away from that. We just don't allow it to infect us. In many cases, you say you wind up with a spouse that is really, really abusive to you. It's like, say you're the wife, and the husband is knocking you around and hitting you, and every time you lift a finger, he slaps you senseless. Well, as I mentioned in another video, Aikido can be helpful with that. You're not a victim. You're not a victim. And if that is happening to you, then you have somehow made choices that allowed that to happen. And you need to clean up that thinking. You see how broad this is. You need to clean up how you feel about yourself, how you validate your existence, why you are here, what is going on with the way you think. Getting a little hoarse here. I'm going to have some tea. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, you need to look at why you are allowing yourself to be affected by anybody's emotions. You got to remember, you have Kundalini, and so all of a sudden you have this shield around you all the time. Now, Kundalini being conscious, a conscious, self-identified thinking expression of God around you all the time. And it will go, "Oh, Chrism's allowing this into his space. Well, okay, we can allow that. Come on, evil thing." You're going to allow this into your space. The key word there is allow. Now, if you don't want to buy into another person's energy or emotions, you just don't allow it into your space. And you don't allow it to affect you. Therefore, you can see it and not be affected. It can be pushed at you, like someone going, "Ah, you crazy, stupid idiot!" They're sorry if I shocked you. Sometimes I do those things too well. And somebody's doing that to you, you just kind of like look at them and watch what's happening. Don't laugh at them, because that's just participating. Yeah. I learned a lot of lessons from my Kundalini about how we participate in the negativity or hurtfulness or emotional body of other people. And you just keep yourself neutral and watch what they're doing, if you have to. So, for instance, if they're in your face, like that, then you kind of have to watch what they're doing, but you don't have to partake of it, you see. Right. Nira says, so be an observer. So you just observe it without triggering them to have more emotion. Okay. So therefore, this is like soap. This is just letting your radiance cleanse the exterior portion of your auric field. Okay, so you don't have to partake of the people. People getting into your space at work is like, oh, you made that mistake at work. It was your fault. You don't have to. When I yell like that, the bird kind of gets excited. So that's what you're hearing in the background. It's fluttering around. Anyway, you have somebody in your face at your work doing that. Don't internalize it. Don't internalize that. That's the last thing you want to internalize, whether it was your fault or not. See, bird agrees. So. So that's what you want to understand when you're dealing in these areas. This is how you keep yourself clean from the antagonism of other people. Okay, you don't necessarily need to buy into somebody's judgment of you. Let's talk about that for a little bit. I get judged harshly every day. I've got a great. There are groups of people. I see one group on Facebook that I know of, two groups on the internet that I know of, that are all about, having problems with Chrism. Some people have even dedicated their life to contradicting what I teach and how I teach and all of these things, and it's what an honor that is. In a strange sort of way. It's just like, well, okay, if that's what you need to do. When these things first started coming in, and you have to understand, Kundalini allowed these things to occur. She allowed it. And it was a real teaching of cleanliness for my egotism. And you just get to the point where you don't have control over these people and what they're saying. And you just got to start forgiving them. You just got to start forgiving, and you don't allow any of the problems that people have with you to become your problem, because it's not your problem, it's their problem. Okay? They'll do everything they can do to try to make it your problem. I've had reporters parked outside of a house I was living in, just waiting to ambush me and answer complaints about some of these people. Now, none of the stories ever came to light, but that didn't stop them from, trying to find a way to create some sort of a drama. They always like the whole sex thing with gurus. That's always that's a favorite. So anyway. You're given these opportunities, these challenges, in order to maintain a level of cleanliness within yourself. You know who you are, you know what you've done, you know what you haven't done. And so no matter what people say about you or fabricate about you or whatever, you don't allow it to affect the truth of who you are. This is a level of staying clean within. Okay, you don't let, this goes back to Nira, you don't let other people's opinions and judgments of how they feel you are to become the truth of who you are. You clean yourself from that. Okay? And this includes family, parents, lovers, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, all of it. Okay? Some of you will get some of these petty tyrants at work. These are people, I've had plenty of these. These are people that will condemn you just for breathing. It's like, I don't like the way you carried that tray. You did not carry that tray in the way that I asked you to carry the tray the last time we had this conversation. And it's like, yeah, okay, so what's your point? You can't say that. You can't say, oh, okay, sorry. but you don't internalize. You don't let it get to you. Nothing. None of the petty tyrants are really great for allowing you to believe in yourself, because they're so controlling, or they're so obvious in their mistake that you just gotta keep yourself from laughing, and just kind of like, if you want that job, then you have to kind of like toe that line, toe that attitude, and so you do your very best with it. Petty tyrants can be very, very helpful. I know they're painful. I know that they're using their power in a very, very unfortunate way for themselves, not so much for you, because you're not buying into it. You'll do what they tell you to do if it's within the realm of legitimate, like carry that tray a certain way, you'll do what they tell you to do, but you don't believe what they're telling you about yourself. You don't believe that. That's when you start seeing them as a cartoon. A Saturday morning cartoon. Ah, look. He's going off again. Oh my God. It's like Woody Woodpecker. Right? So you just have to really kind of understand that and see it in that way, so that you keep the inner part of you clean. Keep the inner part of you clean. Another level of cleansing yourself within is to constantly self-correct your own egotism, your own fear of loss, your own want of gain. You have to catch yourself. Oh my God, I really want this avocado. Oh my God, it's an organic avocado. I go, oh, I gotta have it. I can't live without this avocado. You gotta really correct. You've got to self-correct and say, I'm just fine without the avocado. I'm fine with that. I don't need it to survive. It's nice to have. Yay, I got an avocado. But an apple is what I need right now. Okay. So you don't really need to fixate on things. Oh, I want that. I want that new car. I want that. Oh God, do I so want that so much. You got to see why you want it. Do you need it? Is it something that grace will support you in getting? Do you already have something? You just want an upgrade? I mean, you need to look at how the ego is organizing your life. And if it's not organizing your life along the lines of grace, then you got to self-correct. You've got to self-correct it. And that's not always an easy thing. You got to remember that we live in a society that is corrupt. And corruption comes from egotism. Okay, corruption comes from egotism. And it also comes from entities that attach to a person's level of egotism. Entities will attach to your fear. They will attach to your greed. They will attach to your how you feel about yourself, your self-validation. They will attach to all of these different areas. And if you allow yourself to be corrupted or controlled by entities, then you're going down a path that can be very, very, very dangerous and hurtful to yourself and others. Shooting up people in a mall or a movie theater or a school. All those people were possessed by entities. Hello. That's not being talked about because science doesn't recognize the existence of spirit. But it is there, and it is true, and your Kundalini will open you to these levels of truths as well. And you don't want to scoff at them just because science doesn't support it, and you've been addicted to science since grade school. You got A's in biology and chemistry. Maybe you became a teacher, a biology teacher of, later on. I mean, so you've got to understand that not everything science tells you is true. And not everything that psychology tells you about the motivations of the mind are accurate. Entities exist. Entities will try to take hold of a person and slam your head into a window. They don't care if they fail. They don't care if they fail. They know they can try again if you don't self-correct. You've got to keep yourself clean of these types of egotistical handles that entities can hold on to. Let's see. So Nira is asking another question. How do we let go of attachment to people and things easily? By choosing to do so. By making it a choice and then following through on that choice. It takes self-discipline, Nira. It's not easy. Someone who's really good at that is Hungarian Lotus or Julia. You might ask her. She does it very well. Every couple of weeks she just cleans out her space and gives things to the Goodwill store. She's very good that way. And of course she's moving through her Kundalini like she's doing very well. Like a jet. She's just jetting right through that Kundalini there. She's going higher and higher. Okay, and so that is how you lose the desire and the need to collect things. I live in a house where the owner likes to collect things to the point of hoarding things. A true hoarder. And, God bless her for letting me live here, at all. So I'm very grateful, but I can see, what's going on around me. And I have to constantly keep myself from collecting things, because that energy is very strong here. And Sean says, how are we going to solve the problem of mass corruption in the world? We will never, ever solve the problem of mass corruption in the world. But the way we can help to maintain a balance between the non-corruptive and the corruptive is to start with ourself first. If you have Kundalini, you have a very, very wide footprint upon this world because of your radiance. And if you can keep yourself from being corrupted and you can demonstrate to other people that you are not buying into levels of corruption, you help them just through their participation in your radiance. The way you are as a Kundalini person is helping others be that way. You understand? Your radiance will communicate to the spirit and the psychology of others. So it's very important for you to keep your thoughts clean and loving and forgiving and tolerant and patient and honest and true. You understand, Sean? It's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Absolutely. That is how. And the more Kundalini people come into it, and the more Kundalini people realize this, a great dent in the level of corruption can be had within this world. But you've got to understand that there is a purpose to corruption. And the purpose is to teach those that are corrupted or corrupting the error of their ways. I mean, you kill somebody, you rob some from that is exactly what is going to happen to that person somewhere down the line. You're welcome, Julia Galfi. Julia Galfi is the person I told you about who is able to let go of things very, very well. Nice going, Julia. Nira Ratan says, we act as role models. Indeed, but we're role models in a very powerful way because our radiance comes into people. It comes into the innermost, sacred, most intimate areas of a person's psychology. So you must keep yourself clean. You must keep yourself clean and adopt all of the qualities that I just stated. Practice the safety protocols. Go to www.kundalinisafeties.com and thank you, Vincent, for putting that on. Okay, this is a way to maintain an inner egotistical cleansing protocol. Self-correction is the soap. You've got to use that soap on your ego, on your mind. How do you feel about yourself? Do you have a level of healthy validation for who you are, how you are, why you are, what you are? And I'm going to hear you say yes on that. Amen. Hallelujah. I'm going to hear you say yes on that. And I'm going to extend that yes into your radiance and how you affect people that you don't even know and you don't need to know, because the only thing that really needs to occur is your radiance to go into them and to help them where they most need it. Okay? To help them in ways that you don't need to be privy to, but your Kundalini is. Your Kundalini is. You need to trust that. And so this is also food for your Kundalini. You got to remember, the Kundalini is that conscious, energetic force within you. So as you clean your inner self and as you clean your outer self, you're nourishing your Kundalini. And that is what you must do every day, every night, for the rest of your life. And it's a good thing. It's a blessed thing. And it's not hard to do. And once you maintain a certain level of cleanliness, that's where you'll be. That is where you'll be. Thanks for watching.